Yes, we are looking into the futures. Let's talk about some.
And everything around it, the ball does not carry like it used to.
But this is interesting here, Harold. Take a look at his home road splits for his career. And he leaves a very good hitter's ballpark in Houston to go to Wrigley Field, which, depending on the elements, can be a hitter's ballpark as well. But virtually the same in a lot of areas.
It's good.
So
good player.
But I'm with you. I think it might be a little under 29 and a half.
That's a big number.
Yeah. What do you think it might be? Like 26, 27?
Yeah, 25.
Okay.
You know, if he hits 25, it's a good year.
All right. So good luck. Be sure to play responsibly. You know the whole thing. All right. When we come back, we're going to talk about underrated free agents that could make a big impact for their new club. Harold's got his list when we come back.
Early January, we are starting to get a clearer picture of what teams will look like. JP Morosi leading the league in information. Very exciting. A missing piece is Roki Sasaki. We hear about him meeting with teams. That's what we expected him to do right now. What does the rest of the timeline look like? Good morning.
Yes, Lauren, good morning. We will see Roki Sasaki, we believe, make his decision about 1 week from right now. It is January the 15th when he's able to begin that signing period as part of the new international signing bonus class. And what I was told yesterday is that at least one additional team beyond the previously reported group of Dodgers, Padres, Giants, Yankees, Mets, Cubs, Rangers, at least one team in addition to that group has spoken with Roki Sasaki. Now, do we want to call this the mystery team?
Yes, we do.
I'll leave that to the viewer
We like the drama,
that.
JP.
I will say this, Lauren. One team that I've been keeping an eye on that has not been ruled out is Seattle. Now, the Mariners have not confirmed nor denied that they've had a meeting with Sasaki, but what we know is this. According to the reporting of Adam Jude of the Seattle Times earlier on this offseason, the Mariners were planning to have Ichiro Suzuki be part of their pitch to Roki Sasaki. Now, if you're a student of Japanese baseball history, of course, knowing that Ichiro was on the ballot, do we think there's any chance that if Ichiro said to Roki, hey, I'd like to have a conversation with you, and if any free agent, any prominent Japanese baseball player would say, you know what, no thanks, I just don't think that would happen. So knowing that Ichiro is part of the sales pitch, part of the recruiting pitch, do I think that if he said, hey, Roki, I'd love to speak with you, I think he'd probably have that meeting. And so it would not surprise me in the least, Lauren, if Seattle ends up being a part of this conversation, especially when you consider the strength of the Mariners in developing starting pitchers. Let's see how this unfolds in the next week to 10 days.
Harold, what's your reaction to that?
No, I understand that he's going to have those conversations. One thing's kind of confusing to me, JP, and maybe you can clear it up for everybody out here. So is his contract a standard deal, or is he actually a free agent where he's not held to, he can only get X amount, but can he actually go get a big contract? I know they have to pay a posting fee and all that, but is his contract restricted to a certain amount?
Yes, the contract is restricted, Harold, because he falls within the purview of the international amateurs. So his contract will look very similar in scope to Shohei's original deal with the Angels when he first came over. So the signing bonus will likely read somewhere in the range of $4 million, maybe a little more, maybe a little less, but it's got to fit within a team's international signing bonus pool because he is not yet 25 years of age. This will look like one of the greatest bargains in baseball that we have seen. He is, and it's important to point this out, he is not a finished product the way that Yamamoto was a year ago with the Dodgers. He still has some development to go. But Harold, you talked about this before on the show. We all saw this in the World Baseball Classic of 2023. This is an electric arm that should be able to contribute, one would assume, during the 2025 Major League season.
I would think 30 teams would have a conversation. I know what the contract is.
They should.
And Al was on the show, JP, last week talking about the insane talent that he is. Keep us posted along the way. Yesterday, you and I were having a conversation about the reliever market. I asked, is it as slow as it seems? And you said, yes. What about the trade market for starting pitching? Because we focus so much on free agents in this time.
Well, yes, let's start with Marcus Stroman. There was a report yesterday from Bob Nightingale that Stroman is out there and available. The Yankees very much open-minded to moving him. We could potentially see a deal. We've heard about Luis Arraez, as we discussed on the show, too. Perhaps that Stroman could be a fit there in San Diego. Also, Sandy Alcantara of the Miami Marlins. Now, I was told yesterday in a conversation, there have been, I think, at different points of this offseason, the Marlins gauged interest on Alcantara and potentially moving him. We already know that Luzardo was moved. Alcantara, though, is someone that I was told yesterday, chances are better that he is going to stay with the Marlins to begin this season. Now, of course, he missed the time due to surgery. Again, right now, the expectation is he will be with the Marlins to begin the year. There you see what the contractual situation is for Alcantara. One would assume, Lauren, the Marlins are still in a bit of a rebuilding phase. If you totally overwhelm them now, they might be willing to move him. But I think it's a much more likely situation that they begin the year with Alcantara in the rotation and potentially gauge interest around the trade deadline once everybody has seen him get back out there and compete at the major league level. Stroman, I do think, is much more available right now, along with Luis Castillo of the Mariners, especially, Lawrence, you think about this. if the Mariners are able to get Sasaki, they might be more likely to move a Castillo and then bring back a bat for Castillo as part of their larger offseason movement.
So much to take in. Wishing for health for Sandy Love, watching him work in Stroman in pinstripes a year ago, as was Alex Verdugo. We're hearing his trade market or his free agent market is heating up. What do you know?
Yes, so Robert Murray reported yesterday that the Pirates are very interested in Alex Verdugo. I was told last night there is no deal close, but Verdugo is one of the many options the Pirates are looking at. Our colleague Mark Feinstein has also reported about interest in Randall Grichuk. So it does seem likely, Lauren, that the Pirates will add an outfielder, likely in free agency at some point between now and the start of spring training. Here you see the list. Obviously, Santander is top of the market in a lot of ways. Profar is someone who I think we've not talked nearly enough about Jurickson Profar. This man signed very close to the start of spring training a year ago and became an all-star with the San Diego Padres. So still a lot of high-end position player free agents out there. The guys talked earlier about Pete Alonso. I still think we've got a lot of exciting movement to come in this free agent market with now pitchers and catchers, Lauren, reporting about a month from right now, right around the time the Lions win the Super Bowl.
Oh, is that so? I didn't know.
Right around the same time.
Eminem going to be in attendance or what?
Lions win the Super Bowl. Pitchers and catchers report basically days apart.
Okay. I won't be there. I'm a first baseman, so I'll go a little later. You know how that works.
Yeah, a little bit later on, Lauren. I've seen your scouting video. Outstanding arm, I would say, Lauren, on the scouting scale. At 55 arm, Harold, I'm thinking about like a 50 glove on the 20 to 80 scale. What do we think?
I mean, there's no reason to bring her age into this, JP. That's just unnecessary.
I'll take $150 million right now. I'll go to Flush and Queens. Sign me up.
Oh, God.
Good stuff. JP Morosi joining us here on Hot Stove. Still to come in this.
If he comes in, we look at him as a guy that's going to play second base, play some outfield, and play and DH some in spring training. We'll also give him a look at third and short and see where it is and see where he is defensively with all of those positions. But we think that he's a quality left-handed hitter that just lengthens our lineup out.
Those are the comments of Nick Kroll on the newest acquisition for his Cincinnati Reds, and that is Gavin Lux. As a result of a trade coming over from the Los Angeles Dodgers, Gavin Lux now a member of the Cincinnati Reds. And Harold, we talked extensively about this deal. Gavin Lux is set to join us here momentarily. I think this is it's a fresh start for Gavin Lux, and I think this is a great opportunity for him.
Well, it's a chance to play every day. And that's the big thing. And it's in a ballpark where he's going to do damage.
Yes.
You don't want to get traded to a park where you can't hit in.
Right.
If I'm getting traded. So this is a good deal.
Well, we say good morning and hello to Gavin Lux, the newest member of the Cincinnati Reds. Gavin, Happy New Year to you. Congratulations. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Gavin.
Yeah, good morning, man.
Good morning.
Hey, just real quick, tell us what your initial reactions were when you heard the deal. You're headed to the Reds.
Yeah, a lot of emotions, man. I'm sure if anyone can attest to that, if you've gotten traded, it's, you're excited, you're nervous, it's a new place, a place you've never been. And, obviously the last 9-10 years, Dodgers is the only thing I've ever known. So, it's a lot of emotions, but I'm excited to get over there and get with that group of guys. There's a lot of really good young talent. So I'm excited to get over there and help those guys win in any way I can.
Hey, it's okay to be emotional. I played 12 years in the Mariners system before I left. It was the weirdest thing ever, and it took a long time to get used to. Even in spring training, I was like, where am I? I'm standing next to Cal Ripken in Baltimore, and it was just odd. So I'm telling you, it's okay to be that point. I want to ask you, what did you learn in the Dodgers system? Obviously, they brought you through, but what was one of the couple of key things that will sustain you as a ball player?
Yeah, I think just the preparation piece, I think, just how to game plan against pitching, like doing homework on different hitters and where they hit the ball on certain pitch types. And I think just the preparation before every game. So, once the game starts, you just you play the game and you don't got to think, and you're prepared. And I think, I think that was a huge takeaway was, man, these guys put a lot into preparation and going over the analytics on pitchers. And I think that's a big thing I learned was just how to, go through that data and use what I want. And, how can whatever I'm taking from that data, how can it help me and how can I use it?
I was saying, if you're going to get traded, Cincinnati's not a bad place for a left-hand hitter. Tell me the first time when you took BP there before a game that you were like, man, the ball jumps here.
Oh, man, yes, especially when it's warm out. It's crazy. It's a great place to hit, but I was talking to I can't remember who I was talking to yesterday, but I was like, I can't try to go there and try to hit post-side homers because that's going to be no good. So, if you run into something, that's great. It's a good place to hit, but just try to find the barrel as much as you can.
Gavin, have you had a chance to have any conversations with people on what it's like or what it might be like to play for Terry Francona?
Not too much. Actually, Kirsch texted me and said, man, you're going to love Tito. He's the best. So, obviously, I think, we all know how respected Tito is as a manager and what he's done in this game. So, it doesn't get much better than that. So, I'm excited to just get around him and talk baseball with him and try to learn as much as I can. But, man, that's a Hall of Fame manager right there. So it doesn't get better than that.
You mentioned the Reds' young core, and Elly De La Cruz is a big part of that. What have been your observations of him being in the opposite dugout on the occasions that you've had a chance to watch him play?
He's electric, man. That's about as dynamic as an athlete as you can get in baseball. I think when we played him in Dodger Stadium earlier last year, I think he stole like 4 or 5 bases. We walk him, he steals second, and then he gets on second, and he steals third. I'm like, we got to keep this guy off the bases because, and he's a problem right now. Like it's like you walk him, he gets a single, it turns into a triple. So, and then obviously he's got stupid juice, and he can run, and he's a freak athlete. So, I'm excited to see him play every day because that's about as high of a ceiling as a baseball player as you can get.
Yeah, speaking of high ceilings, you played with Shohei, Mookie, and Freddie. It doesn't get much better than that. And I want to know what maybe those 3 guys, individually or collectively, had conversations with you, something you might have learned talking to them, watching them, the preparation, maybe a lot of times you emulate swings. I don't know. What did you get from maybe those 3?
I played with Mookie and Freddie for, 3-4 years. So I think, I took a lot from all those guys. But I think, Freddie's first year was, 2022 with the Dodgers. And I was probably annoying to him, man. I'm watching him and doing, literally sitting down, watching his cage routine go out. I'm watching his BP routine, his defense routine. I'm trying to do whatever Freddie does because, he's about as good of a left-handed hitter as you can be. Hits for power, does damage, gets hits, controls the strike zone. It's like this is the ultimate left-handed hitter. So whatever he's doing, why don't I try to do it? So I would just kind of watch and pick his brain as much as I could, and then obviously Mookie and Show too. But you take stuff from everybody over the years, and but man, it's so fun watching Freddie hit BP and just hit 5 line drives right at the shortstop's head and then walk out, and that's it.
Gavin, how have your thoughts evolved over the years regarding defensive versatility? You're obviously came up as a middle infielder, played a lot of second, played some short, but they've also moved you into the outfield. That was mentioned as something that could be a possibility in Cincinnati. How have your thoughts about that evolved over the years?
Yeah, I think when I was younger, originally I was like, no, I'm a shortstop. That's all I'm going to play. And obviously, you just want to get in the lineup any way you can. Once you get up here, and it doesn't matter where you play. And I think that's kind of how my thought about it has changed. Was I don't really care to where I play as long as I get in that lineup and I can try to help the guys win and compete. And wherever that is, it doesn't really matter. I'm gonna do whatever I can to help these guys win and make some plays. But yeah, I think when I was younger, I was pretty stubborn. Like, I just want to play short. I want to play infield, and I don't want to do anything else. And Obviously, that's not great for the team, and there's a lot of guys on this team that can move around, so I think it helps even more.
You know, Gavin, we spoke a lot after the knee injury. How is the knee? How are you feeling? And what was the process to get you where you feel like you're close to being back to where you were?
Yeah, knee feels great. I think it probably took around, July, August last year before I kind of like fully trusted it. I think if you've gone through different surgeries, you kind of know what I'm talking about. It's just it takes time to, mentally trust everything, even though physically it feels fine. So knee feels great. I think we're almost 2 years out of it now, so it should feel a lot better than it did, 6 months ago, 7 months ago. But yeah, it feels great, man. Having a full normal offseason to kind of build strength on it and not just rehab it, should help a lot too.
Hey, the last thing, when I heard your name being thrown around a little bit this winter in trade talks, because the Dodgers were knowing you're this commodity, but that is not new. Everybody's always wanted Gavin Lux, but you were untradeable. And so I want to know your relationship with Andrew Friedman, because you were untouchable, and the advice you would give to somebody to get to that stature as a player coming through an organization. How did you get to being a guy that they coveted so much? And I'll finish my question with this. I felt like the trade, when I heard about it, they had opportunities to send you a lot of places, but they sent you to a place that you're going to play and you're going to flourish in. And I thought that was like, we're going to reward him for everything that he did with us. So I want to know your advice to players coming through organizations and how you got to that mantle.
Yeah, me and Andrew have a really good relationship. Obviously, we've been together for, 10 years. And I agree. I thought the same thing. I think, obviously, I don't know all the details. I don't know who else was in on trade talks. But I agree. I think, this is a really good place for me to go and have a good opportunity to play and help some of these young guys. And hopefully I can be an open book with some experiences I've had. I've had a ton of ups and downs and in-betweens and, a lot of different experiences. So hopefully I can just help out and be a shoulder. But, I think coming up through the system, I just I did everything these guys asked me to pretty much. What can I get better? What can I do to get better? Where do I need to get better? What do I got to do to get up there and help you guys? And I think, you kind of go about your business. You try to get a little bit better every year. And, I think being a good teammate in the clubhouse obviously is huge too. So, if you're a good dude, you're doing things right. Obviously I think it's going to be a little bit harder for them to get rid of you. So, I think just coming up, do everything they ask you to, and just be a good teammate. I think that's kind of the approach I took with it.
Gavin, we'll get you out of here on this one. It's been obviously an eventful couple of months for you this offseason. A couple of months ago, you were rewarded with the key to the city of Kenosha. You are a proud Wisconsin boy, and here you are, this picture, getting the key to the city. Now you get a chance to frequent the state of Wisconsin much more now that you're going to be in the same division as the Milwaukee Brewers. What was this day like for you?
Yeah, it was great. It was on my birthday, actually, and all my friends and family were there. And, Kenosha, it's not a real big city. So, whenever I come back here and I get to see everybody and there's so much support that the city's giving me. So it's cool, man. That was a really cool day for me and, my family and friends, too.
Concern level about your Packers this weekend?
I'm a Bears fan, so we were done. It's over.
Wow.
I don't got to worry about it.
How did you end up a Bears fan?
Were they aware of this when they gave you the key to the city?
What was that?
Were they aware that you were a Bears fan going in the key when they gave you the key? Okay. All right.
Kenosha split. We're right on the border of Illinois.
Okay.
So.
How did you end up a Bears fan?
Well, he said they're split.
I know, but
that's amazing. I didn't know that.
Both my mom and dad. My mom and dad are both Bears fans, so I grew up in a Bears house.
Yeah.
It's all right. We're going to be all right.
Yeah. Maybe you want to consider switching because the Bears are,
I've been wearing it for like a decade now with the Bears, so
that's true. That's fair.
Switch up now.
Hey, thank you very much for joining us. Congratulations, Gavin. We're rooting for you. I think this is going to be a great place for you, and best of luck to you and the Reds in 2025.
I appreciate you guys, man. Thanks for having me.
You're so calm and cool, Gavin. You got the blood pumping on the Bears. Yeah. See that? I love it. Hey, good talking to you, bud. Thank you, man.
That's Gavin Lux of the Cincinnati Reds joining us here on Hot Stove. Let's take a quick timeout. When we come back, we're going to put a couple of catchers under the Hall of Fame spotlight, and Pete Costas.
2025年シーズンがついに幕を開けようとしています。この瞬間を待ち望んでいたファン、そしてその期待に応えようと準備を進めてきた選手たちにとって、これからの数ヶ月は夢のような時間となるでしょう。今年も MLB は才能ある選手たちの努力、そしてチームとしての絆がどのように発揮されるのかを見せてくれる最高の舞台です。ギャビン・ラックス選手の言葉にあるように、準備を怠らず、どんな状況でも最善を尽くすことが、スポーツだけでなく人生全般で重要な教訓となります。ラックス選手は、長年所属したドジャースを離れ、シンシナティ・レッズという新しい環境に挑戦します。その移籍が彼のキャリアに新たな光を当て、彼自身が言うように若手選手たちと共に成長する絶好の機会を生み出すことでしょう。新しいスタートラインに立つクス選手を見守りながら、私たちは彼がどのようにチームに貢献し、その存在感を示すのかを楽しみにしています。また、ロキ・佐々木選手の話題も、2025年シーズンをよりエキサイティングなものにしています。シアトル・マリナーズがイチロー選手を介して彼を迎え入れる計画は、日米の野球ファンにとって夢のようなニュースです。イチロー選手という MLB のレジェンドが佐々木選手に語りかけ、その経験を共有することがどれほど大きな影響を与えるかは想像に難くありません。これこそ野球がもたらすグローバルなつながりの象徴です。もし彼がマリナーズの一員となれば、その才能がどのように開花するのか、そして彼が MLB にどのようなインパクトを与えるのかを見届けることは、私たちにとって最大の楽しみの一つとなるでしょう。さらに、今年の注目選手として挙げられるのは、コディ・ベリンジャー選手です。ヤンキースという強力な打線の中で、スタントンやジャッジと肩をなべて戦う彼の姿は、ファンにとって期待感で胸が高鳴る瞬間です。統計データからも示されるように、ヤンキースタジアムでの試合は、彼のパフォーマンスをさらに引き上げる可能性があります。23号本塁打という目標を超えるかどうか、その結果を目の当たりにするのが指導士ですね。一方で、ギャビン・ラックス選手の言葉には、野球が持つもう一つの魅力が隠されています。それは、自分の役割に柔軟に対応し、チームのために尽くすという精神です。彼がかつての頑固さを捨てて、どのポジションでもベストを尽くす姿勢を見せることで、私たちはスポーツの真髄を感じ取ることができます。このような姿勢こそ、MLB の選手たちが私たちに示す模範であり、私たちの日常生活においても大切な教訓です。そして忘れてはならないのは、MLB が私たちに与えてくれる感動的な瞬間の数々です。今年も劇的なホームラン、緊張感あふれる試合終盤の攻防、そしてチーム全体が一丸となって勝利をつかむ方が繰り広げられることでしょう。その一瞬一瞬を共有し、共に歓喜することがファンとしての最大の喜びです。私たちのこのチャンネルでは、今後も MLB の最新ニュース、選手たちのエピソード、そして試合のハイライトをお届けします。ぜひチャンネル登録をして、次回の動画もお見逃しなく。また、コメント欄でお気に入りの選手や期待する試合について教えてください。あなたの声がこのコミュニティをより一層盛り上げる力となります。さあ、2025年シーズンを一緒に楽しみましょう。野球が持つ感動と興奮を、そしてそれを共有する喜びを共に体験していきましょう。次回の動画でお会いしましょう。